Greetings, this is Kai NY007, and I thank you all for coming through. This video I'm presenting is called Why Fat Women Stay Fat. And as you see here from the thumbnail and the picture I have up in the video, the promotion of obesity tells fat women to stay fat. That's a problem. We're going to talk about it, not going to hold back on the facts, and I'll give some of my take on it. We're going to see some video clips of women speaking for themselves with weight issues and eating disorders. This is a huge problem in any way you look at it, and we need to talk about it. Obesity, by definition, and it surprised me how they have it worded here in this Oxford Dictionary, is obesity is a condition of being grossly fat or overweight. And these result from having a higher calorie intake than what you're burning off through exercise or normal daily activity. Obesity has become a problem, and it's been rising since the past 15 plus years, particularly in America. But it's also very international. All around the world there's issues with weight. This is specifically talking about the weight and overweightness of women. And it seems to be a problem. It's just not only a problem with the individual and their weight. It's physiological, the physical, but it's also a mental issue as well some of the time. I noticed too that women that fit in this body range get upset when it's even talked about. When it can help save your life and give you a healthier lifestyle. Things like that do matter. It seems that those that need to hear it the most don't want to listen. I'm not going to hold back in this video. If you are easily triggered by discussion of weight, body image, and all that, this video is for you. I don't turn people away from the truth. You need to hear it. And that's what I'm going to bring. As we see here, this is from the CDC, Center for Disease and Control. And they're showing the body mass index, which for short is BMI. And according to their calculations, what they feel is healthy is based on, the dimensions of your body, height, weight, all those things. Now, with obese people and overweight just means you're over that normal weight that your body should be in. So with obese and overweight folks, they look at diet and exercise differently. And they seem more about taste when it comes to food. So they do see things differently than their quote-unquote normal weight peers. Their relationship with food is impulsive and emotional. They seem to have more of a traditional mindset of the 70s and 80s, the 1970s, 1980s way of eating patterns, attitudes towards it. Now, we know food is essential to live. We have to have it. But you don't want to always overindulge. You want to survive longer. Women, by the way, do have some more fat than men naturally, which is about 6 to 11%. Now, that is a lower percent, but keeping that in mind, you will possibly have a little more weight in areas than a man. So we're not going to compare every single thing to man. But that's not going to be an excuse for being way obese or way overweight. We're not going to do that. Now, some of the causes could be high blood pressure. And with that, the extra weight that's there in the body, more blood needs to supply the nutrients, which makes the heart work harder because of the weight on the body. But then there's also a type 2 diabetes that has been known to be prevalent with obesity, and it makes it harder for the body to process sugar from food. So there are some health issues too that could be taking place. But I'm not your doctor, but doctors, it's in the journal, and I'm saying it. I do feel like there's always hope, and there's always something you can do to improve your health. And if you notice in the very beginning when the article I had was up from the CDC, and even the definition of being overweight and obese, the treatments are all about self. It says self-control. It'll say self-treatment, because what it's going to take is you. It's going to take you to get out of it. You are what got you in it, other than a childhood experience possibly. Sometimes people go through things and it helps fill a void by overeating, etc. Things like that. But aside from that, you have control, and you have to take control.
A seemingly secure and confident young woman, but 22-year-old Jenna has a dark secret.
I do a lot of emotional eating. I use it as a crutch. I use it to feel better, almost like a drug.
She desperately wants to be thin.
A little bigger than I would like.
Black women are often shown as being confident about their curves, but at 5'9" and 213 pounds, the Chicago student says inside she feels heavy and ugly. Feelings that have pushed her to extremes.
I ate, not even joking, like a half a gallon of ice cream.
Jenna is a binge eater and often purges too. Binge eating is the most common eating disorder affecting Black women, but it's rarely talked about.
It is the 5th. I am headed out to class right now.
A few months ago, we gave Jenna a camera to document her struggle.
I wish my stomach was flat. I wish my thighs were slimmer. Every time that I've used a scale to lose weight, I become very obsessive about the number, and that's when I end up purging.
She succumbs to frequent uncontrollable eating sprees. From time to time, she forces herself to throw up.
How long do these binges last? Is it an hour? Is it 4 hours? Is it 4 days?
Sometimes it's months. Sometimes it's only a week or a few days, or maybe it's just a couple of hours.
What does that mean? What does that look like?
Eating when I'm not even hungry. I don't have a candy bar. I'll have like 3 candy bars and like a half a thing of ice cream. There's no point where I'm like, I need to stop, especially when I'm feeling like I'm in that dark place.
Even in Black families, eating disorders aren't seen as a real issue.
I don't understand why she can't see that she is beautiful. She is a beautiful Black woman.
We visited Jenna at home on the south side of Chicago. She lives with her parents, but somehow she's managed to keep her secret from her whole family.
And she keeps everything inside. Even though I ask, she doesn't say, she doesn't tell me.
Something that I deal with. I don't really talk about it like my mom said, so.
But today, Jenna has finally worked up the courage to tell her mom.
But I understand it, because we've all done it. I've done it. You have used food to soothe yourself or make yourself feel better. You've eaten way more than you should, and you want to get it out. And I've done it.
Because women of color don't talk about it, doctors often ignore the signs.
There's this assumption that Black women are expected to be overweight, that, we like our curves, that it's not an issue. And what happens, unfortunately, is if a Black woman walks into a treatment office and is obese, her obesity will be evaluated. Then they're not going to ask about, are you depressed? Are you anxious? Do you use food to cope? Do you feel like your eating is out of control?
Black women often go undiagnosed, and experts say that makes statistics inaccurate.
And in media, I think that we still have a ways to go, because what you see, whether it's on a news show or even television, is either a really thin Black woman or an overweight woman that typically, is the comedian, that is sad, that's not taken seriously.
Funny Black woman.
The funny Black woman.
I see some of you skinny just nervous as y'all looking all right here, this leg, baby. This is a leg, bam!
And we have here another actress, comedian that is obese or overweight. All the way to the left there, Rebel Wilson. She's played in a lot of movies. And she was even had the name, as you see there, Fat Amy. She was always like the fat, overweight, funny girl, out of the cast, things like that. She suffers from polycystic ovarian syndrome, and that can affect the menstrual cycle as well. Very small amount of women suffer from this as a result of weight gain, etc. She looks like she's doing really good. Her and Adele are starting to remind me more of each other. So they've both had a significant weight loss, and they both kind of remind me of each other. They were so little.
We have insecurities just like every other woman. We might put on that act because we have to be the strong black woman, but no, we have insecurities just like everyone else. And it gets hard because you have to sort of put on the face like, oh no, I'm fine.
So just tell me again why you like her figure.
You know, she has the ideal black woman body.
For Jenna, images of curvier black women she sees online and in magazines often make her feel even worse about her own body.
What is that dark place for you?
Just insecurity, self-doubt, just feeling hopeless, like I won't be able to achieve my goals.
Does the food does it help?
It, helps me feel better, but immediately afterwards, I am in a worse place than I was before. I wish I could wear something like that.
Here's an article from a great magazine, Cosmo for short, Cosmopolitan. I've been reading them for so many years. They give good insight on how people really feel through their surveys and studies, and they really promote health and sexuality. This was two women that are considered fat, overweight. They even call themselves that. Given their different views on how they feel, how they were treated, some were always a fat kid growing up, so they just wear it and figure this is it. Dieting didn't work out, or they were just turned off by other things and feel like, hey, this is me, accept me. Some of them are saying that they know it is genetic, thyroid disease, etc. But some get a little candid in this. They laugh about some things. But it is serious being obese. When it comes to your counterpart, whether you date men, they talk about that too. How do you feel about men that only date plus size, or they only tend to date skinny women? They said that they're proud of their plus size, and if anything, they have something to offer, and that is good to feel that way too. But again, you just want to be your healthiest self. You notice they're saying, shut the F up, or what are you talking about? They tend to get a little aggressive verbally, etc., which is where I see the over defensiveness in women. They get offended easily because they know it's correct what you're saying. They just don't want to hear it. It's not about how you say it sometimes. They just don't want to hear it. But I still feel there's hope for people. You're not showing you believe in a positive body image, but I think it's still in there with a lot of people, and they just have to reach in there and pull it on out.
I love my weight, I love my size, and I'd like to even be bigger. My ideal weight is 1,000 pounds. That's something that I think of in my head, fantasy-wise, that I would like. So 1,000 pounds. The double quarter pounder with the fries. I like the chicken selects, also the hamburgers. I love Big Macs and more fries. So this is a good snack for lunch. Currently, I believe it's around 600, 610. There's no scales that can weigh me. I have to have those specially made.
Now, with physical activity, that is an issue. And that seems to be an issue with about a quarter or more of the people that have weight issues. Obesity and being overweight is a social and cultural issue, and it needs to go beyond awareness and education. And it also can have an effect on your sex life too. Obese people are 25 times more likely to report problems with their sexual desires, sexual performance, and enjoyment of sex all around, compared to normal weight people. Many of them will totally avoid sex. So we have black women that struggled with body image, compulsive eating, etc. And she has a conversation with her mom as well, who was not even aware of this issue here too. Because part of that was just a little troubling to me. Not the fact that, of course, you want to remind your daughter, your child, your own offspring, that they're beautiful. But when she's coming to you saying, I have a weight problem, I've been hiding it, we can't respond all the time by, oh my gosh, but don't even worry about it. But all right, well, that's true. But, well, I don't really, you're beautiful. No, I think you might be thinking about something. Oh, I think it's just this. We brush it under the rug so much that we're just getting bigger and bigger out here. And that's a point that I just really want to make. Sometimes our families are our biggest enablers of problems, of disorders. Sometimes you're the root of the disorder, the problem. Friends. How many of us have them? I mean, real friends. Friends, we feel we have to make each other feel better and feel good about themselves. I'm an honest type of friend. I feel like I'm the best one because I'm loyal, I'm honest. If overweight and obese people had more support and more honest people around them, they wouldn't even really be obese. Very few of them would still be obese and overweight to this day. Why? Because you're having that honest conversation and you're supporting them through it. I'm not going to keep telling you how pretty your face is, but you can't even fit through the front door. I'm not going to keep saying that color looks great on you, but you could be dead even sooner because you're overindulging to replace something that food will never fulfill for you. You're just super full. And you feel good about it. But it doesn't last, and then you feel bad about it. And that's what's interesting about overeaters. They do have a down. It's like it's an upper for them. They get excited, they feel comforted, they feel all good, and then they start feeling down. And a lot of overweight and obese people are struggling with their relationships of all types, and more specifically an intimate partner. Because according to my research, more overweight women are bisexual and lesbians. I found that very interesting. And I'll say it again. Lesbians and bisexual women are more overweight and or obese than their heterosexual peers. And that's me just repeating what it is according to the United States Office of Disease Prevention and Health Promotion. Now, I enjoy talking about sex and stuff too on my channel, for different ways and different reasons. Having a healthy sex life is important. And there are some that aren't having a sex life at all. Okay. Contributing factors could be your metabolism. If you have a lower metabolism, you'll be more likely to put on weight and keep it. Pregnancy. Of course, with pregnancy, weight gain is expected, it's encouraged, and it helps the baby. The baby is living off of you, the mom, the female. And by the way, breastfeeding too helps you get your body back, helps you lose weight and get back to your regular size. Besides the fact that it is best for the baby. That's why they call it golden milk. Breastfeeding, that sounds very important. And also, sadly, a lot of women don't do it. They don't even breastfeed. And my suggestion for that is there's, a lot of physicians around that would love to help guide you through that, and nurses. Weight training, specifically weight training. The normal calorie count, if you look at nutrition labels, they usually say the average adult should have about 2,000 calories intake daily. When I looked at the American Health Association's 2018 Epidemiology and Lifestyle Conference, they mentioned the factors that go along with being obese and overweight. But also they had a calorie count in here too, which differed than what we're used to seeing. And they said women should take in 1,200 calories daily, and men usually 1,500. I will always suggest you talk with your physician if you're interested in exact calorie count for you and things like that. But for the most part, they usually go off of a 2,000 calorie diet. Also, the solution, finding good fitting eating patterns. Everyone has different eating patterns, maybe the time of day, things like that. But having a balanced eating plan will prepare you in advance for eating. You won't be as impulsive. You won't always run to fast food as often and things like that. You already have a meal plan ready, and it should be in your kitchen already. Like me, I personally have watched people show portions of food and they put them in their prep dishes where the food is separate and they just close it up, make stuff for the whole week. You know, you can freeze some items or put some items in the fridge, however you need to preserve your items. And it can be a meal plan weekly or however. Be patient. These things take patience. You can't just go to the gym and expect results really quickly. Everyone is different. Be patient, but I do still say, let's go. Get with it. Start doing it. Also, what was not on the list, but some areas of medical websites you'll see, they do mention surgery. Surgery is an option, but it's not an option for everyone just because you're fat. You have to fit a certain criteria. I personally know some people that have had it done. They had to show that they could lose a certain amount of weight first before they were even accepted. So you have the band for surgery, gastric bypass, things of that sort. But you have to be a certain weight and you have to show certain things to qualify to have the procedure done. And usually that's one of the last options. They don't want people to just, sit around and you just eating, and then you say, I'll just go to the doctor and get it sliced off. When no, because they have to see that you can even handle a more normal eating pattern, ways of eating. If not, that complicates the surgery. That can make the surgery not be as successful and not last as long as it should. Because if you're eating too much, you can pop your band. Your stomach starts to expand back to where it was when they already took some of the stomach off a lot of the time, and they close it up smaller so that you can't even consume but only so much food because you don't have room for any more. And in closing, based on some knowledge and what I think and feel as well, when it comes to obesity, fat women, fat people in general, I see delusion of some sorts. I see a person first of all, but there's some sense of delusion in a way. There's insecurities. Even though they're laughing and some of them play it all off and, no, I'm fine. It's like, okay. I believe you're insecure. I believe you'd rather be lied to. I believe you have some shame and guilt, whether you show it or not. You can't run from shame and guilt. When you're not around anyone and you're overeating, sometimes even as you're eating, I think you already feel guilty. But you figure, what the heck, I'm going to finish it off anyway. Then you're overstuffed and you get over offensive. You get over offensive with us, whether I'm big or small. Discussing overweight people pisses overweight people off. That's just more problem. You get over offensive to where you want to scare people that care about health and stay healthy. You want to scare them off from the conversation. It doesn't work like that. I also see stubbornness. You're stubborn in your ways that you don't want to change for a better life for you. This isn't about anybody else. It's about you. If you don't have enough love in yourself for you and motivation, what can anyone else do? We can't make you do anything. We can't make that weight come off of you. And just because you're upset about it doesn't make the weight come off either. We can debate about weight. We can debate about things too. but we can't debate about life and death. Your dating history, the future of your dating, does depend on how you look. That goes both ways, but it's a little extra put on women, and that's just the way it is. Don't be too mad, ladies, because you love the attention. You got it. Big or small, women get attention. Now, what kind do you want? You are in control of your destiny. No one's force feeding you. If they are, that's abuse. Okay? But other than that, you're in free range. Now, you can eat yourself to death if you want to. You can roll your eyes. You can be like, you know what, whatever I'm just about to do. Well, then we can't stop you. Scales that won't even fit your weight on it because you're too big. There's a lack of motivation. Such lack of motivation when it comes to your own life and death, the health while you're living. To me, you already gave up. You've been gave up. But that doesn't mean it's over. You have to grab that back. You can't keep getting mad at men because a lot of them know what they want. They should know what they want. Some of them live in a complete fantasy world, though. Nobody knows what their true soulmate is really going to look like or be. But everyone has a right to have a criteria. In life, there's plenty of criterias. Why do we not get to choose our own? Why do you get mad at men when they say, hey, these are my preferences? This is my preference. Don't get mad. Did you want that man? Okay, be a better you. Be a better you. It's all about the laws of attraction, our energies. What we put out will come back. The question is, what do we attract? What are you attracted to other than food? We got to think of hobbies. We got to think of other things that thrill us, that make us get excited, that get those brain waves tingling. And it's got to start replacing all that food. And it's not just food, it's drinks. We don't elaborate enough on drinks. The sodas and all that build up, those are extra calories. Being overweight, you must feel weighed down. That's just extra weight that you're walking around with. Who wants to walk around with extra weight? Not too many people. I'm gonna be honest with you. Y'all don't be wanting to lift weights. The average heavy-set person is the last person to get up and do anything. They don't really work out and do most activities. But yet you're walking around every day or just barely getting around carrying extra weight anyway. When you could be pumping iron, you could be lifting weights in the gym. Not to overexalt yourself, but sculpt it. When you're a larger set person and you start sculpting your body, to me, and based on what I've seen, you can pretty much almost get whatever body you want. Because you have excess fat and now you're just chiseling it off and shaping it into the shape that you desire, and then and also that fits and works with your body. Large people feel unnoticed. I know a lot of times they feel invisible. Yes, y'all do. And then they tend to not even mind it. That's the scarier part. When someone comes around looking for attractive people, that's some, not all. And this is because of estrogen, and that reduces a woman's ability to burn energy after eating. That results in more fat stored around the body. And that's for childbearing reasons. So women's bodies are built different because they're built to carry babies inside. For most women are able to conceive and give birth. But again, I'm still not going to give no excuses out. No, because that is not an excuse to be obese. Some overweightness, yes, but in time you should be losing that after you have your child. I've seen plenty of women that have a child. The child is 10, in their teens, or almost a decade. And they'll call their fat that's on their body baby fat. That's fat from the kid. That's fat that never left. Okay, well, we can work that off. We have to stop making excuses for the condition we're in. If you have a disorder, the last thing you need to be doing is making an excuse for it. You find out what it is and you work on it. The root can be deeper, then go deeper to it. We have to start finding solutions for our problems and stop masking them. No, bigger size clothing isn't the answer. It's the answer so you can have something to wear. You should be able to wear some clothes and stuff. But the real answer is just being a healthier person and not being so upset and disrespectful towards other people that are just calling you on your own stuff. There's too many people walking around here, women like, hey, if I eat myself to death, whatever, it ain't like it's gonna happen. No, it is, and it can. Don't get upset with men. If you're starting to see that more men feel this way, then you have to take a look at yourself and your health. Take a listen to why men are saying what they're saying. And I'm not saying just getting dragged around and called a name and things like that. But the term fat has a meaning. It's fat. Now when you say someone's fat, you're fat shaming them? How am I telling you what's in the mirror? Whether you acknowledge it or not. How? So we're getting run away from the truth on things because it's like a way of silencing. They just put shame in front of it. You're canceled. Fat, the term fat as a noun, according to the Oxford, is a natural, oily, or greasy substance occurring in animal bodies, especially when deposited as a layer under the skin or around certain organs. Adjective, of a person or animal having a large amount of excess flesh. Then they have a little quote unquote, the driver was a fat, wheezing man. It's just, it is what it is. And there's different ways we can say it, but let's have the conversation. It needs to be had. So that about wraps this up for me for why fat women stay fat. Just want to bring awareness to it, and the fact that I'm kind of appalled at what I'm seeing, not in you as a person, because I see a person. You can lose some weight. But what I'm surprised about is how upset y'all are getting over the truth and when it's exposed. It's like you guys get mad and want to argue about it. Y'all want to put energy into, don't worry about what I look like or so-and-so like or this, that. Okay. If you use even a fraction of that energy and went to the gym, let me tell you something. Yes. And genealogy makes a difference too. I don't compare myself to too many people. My genealogy is a little different and my diet is different. I really, really watch what I eat. So much I speed read through nutrients. The nutrition label, I speed read labels because I'm so used to doing it all the time. I need to know what's in there before I put it in here. Okay? The gym could be a slow process or it could be a quicker process. Don't worry about it. Just get in there and do it. And trust me, it feels good when you hit the gym. You have a little soreness, but there's something about working out. Your body starts to crave it a little more. Like, oh, okay, I'm getting used to it. I'm getting a little more used to it. It lets go of stress. An activity like sex can be compared to exercise because it's a release. And sometimes you have something built up and it may be upsetting you. Watch how you feel after you do a workout and tell me you don't feel better. You will feel better about it. It's something like it excretes the sweat and you feel more rejuvenated and it gives you more energy. But stay hydrated, and still make sure you have your meals. I'm not your dietitian. I'm just here to help. And I want to talk about issues and things that some people don't, or I might see the way they're talking about it and I'm like, wow, why y'all talking about it like that? Like, we could have a way better conversation than that about this. And I just want to see more women listen when men are talking sometimes too, and develop an understanding, not bashing. I ain't telling you to go nowhere where nobody's yelling at you or, just a total put down all the time. I look at how much time you put into what you're saying. I'm not talking about these channels that's on here that's just put downs, and that's what they do. You know, and people are encouraged to do what they do by their audience. Okay, and that's participation and profit. All right, so I just had to say that, put that out there. There's just so many things where people are just so they're upset about things, and it's just like, wow. So you know, wanted to put that out there. And yes, so that is that there. Anyone, as always, feel free to leave your comments, whatever it is. It could be against what I'm saying, because like I said, I expect it already, because I see how you women get upset, and it's like you're upset with the wrong people, you know, because it starts with the mirror. It starts with you taking a look and saying, hey, do I accept this or not? But also ask, am I healthy or not? We can always accept toxicity, toxic things, and unhealthy things and stuff like that. But is it really right in your life? And how good is it working out for you? Your size, your dress size, your weight. I'm not really into dress size. I'll just ask you straight up, how much do you weigh? What does that scale say for pounds? And how is that working out for you in your life? Period. How well is it working out? And I went over the health things too, and then there's some more things too that I want to throw in there when it comes to hernias. The hernia is a stressful area that can be in different areas of the body. Some of them may go away on their own, but some have to be surgically removed. But it's interesting too that hernias are caused more so by people that are overweight. Hernias in general appear mostly in overweight and obese people, and women in particular. Obese women are more likely to have a C-section too, short for cesarean section, when giving birth. Inguinal hernias, that's of the intestine where it protrudes through the passage, that's common in overweight women as well, and that's near the groin and leg area. Some genetics, like I said, play a role, but also environment and your stress level. So knowing these factors, but having a healthier lifestyle for yourself is really the only way to really win. And I emphasize on men and what men want and like too, because isn't that what you want? So I'm talking to my heterosexual, but you know, the gay ones too, if that's what I'm talking to. Because like I said, most overweight women, based on data, are lesbians and bisexual women too. And I bet there's a deeper meaning all up in there too. Okay? And that could be for another time too, or whatever. Y'all could let me know if you want to talk more about that too. The number one killer though of women in general is heart disease. Again, the number one killer of women is heart disease. What has to do with the heart? I just mentioned that as well. The fat deposits, they're in the blood vessels. The blood cells have to flow through freely, white and red blood cells. The heart keeps us going. The heart pumps and keeps you alive. What are you without a heart? You're a dead corpse. Let's stay alive and live longer and healthier, women, ladies. Y'all can do it. We can do it. And stay healthy. And work on sculpting your own body, just being a healthier you. All right. So I'm planning to also have a live come up. I'll do a live show in the near future where, you know, if someone wants to come and join in on a discussion too about this. I think this is extremely serious, and it's also an extremely sensitive subject for some people too. But you do need to talk about it and gain some knowledge on it, what we can do to solve the problem too. I'm not here to just look at fact. I'm not here for that. That's what other channels do. If we want to sit and have a roasting session and crack on people and laugh and call you stuff, like, no. But I'm straight up and I'm about the truth. I'm not a sister that's going to sit here and rub you down and make you just tell you what you want to hear in your ear to make you feel better when you're going to live a shorter life for me to keep telling you you look good the way you are when I know you're not healthy. That don't make sense. And I know it's hard to tell people how they really, could benefit, or you might want to tell them this, or something. But you could tell them, or their doctor can tell them when it's almost too late. You know what I'm saying? Be real friends. That's one thing about women is too much lying to each other to make each other feel good. It's too much lying. And then you go on to lie to your partner, and they're going to find out the truth about you anyway. And then in more recent news, with Lizzo's got a new show coming out called Watch Out for the Big Girls. Girl. She's got that coming out. So, it just goes back to, what are we promoting? Promoting positive self-body image or acceptance of unhealthiness. That wraps it up for this video. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Comments, suggestions, questions, anything that you'd like to leave, you can leave it in the comments below. And that wraps it up for my Why Fat Women Stay Fat. And it's me, Kai and Y007. Peace. Also, if you check back in at some point, we're doing a live on this too. I think it'd be good to have an open chat possibly on this. And looking forward to feedback to come. All right. Again, peace.